learn that what is weather? The weather is the mixture of events that happens each day in our atmosphere. Weather is different in different parts of the world and changes over minutes, hours, days and weeks. Most weather happens in the troposphere, the part of the Earth's atmosphere that is closest to the ground. Friends, most of the weather strategy happens in the troposphere, where the troposphere is the first layer of the atmosphere and it is closest layer to the Earth's surface. And even the weather changes over minutes, hours, days and week. Okay friends, now let's learn that what are the 4 elements of weather. There are basically 4 elements of weather, friends, and they are precipitation, humidity, wind and temperature. These are the 4 elements of weather. And now let's learn about these 4 some more deeply. Come on. Friends, do you know what is temperature? Yes, how hot or cold something is. For example, friends, when you have a fever and if you go to a doctor, the doctor checks by using a clinical thermometer. This clinical thermometer says that what is your body temperature, and this is the instrument which is used to measure the temperature. And friends, I know that you will be thinking like, okay, if we have fever, to measure our body temperature, we can use thermometer. Yes, it is clinical thermometer. But how can we measure the temperature in the world or in the atmosphere? Yes, we can also measure the temperature in the atmosphere. How means, in the meteorologist department, they use a thermometer called minimum and maximum thermometer. The thermometer have two mercuries inside that 2 thin bottles, which that in that one bottle it shows the minimum temperature of the atmosphere, and in another thin bottle it shows that maximum temperature of the atmosphere. So like this, the meteorologist department finds it and tells us about the atmospheric temperature. And now let's learn about what is precipitation. Precipitation is any product of the condensation of atmospheric water vapor that falls under gravity from clouds. The main form of precipitation includes drizzle, rain, sleet, snow, ice, pellets, graupel and hail. Friends, do you know how rain comes? It's through water cycle. In oceans, seas and rivers, in all the water bodies, when the water starts to evaporate, the water vapor slowly goes up, and where the condensation process starts. After the condensation process, it goes to the cloud. When the cloud can't hold much of water vapor inside it, the cloud starts to leave the water vapor, and when it reaches down, we can see the rain. Means the water which is inside the cloud, it can't keep it for more time. When it leaves it, it comes down as a rain, which is called precipitation. Even like rain, there are many things like sleet, snow, drizzle, pellets, graupel and hail. When something which falls from clouds, it is called precipitation. Friends, And now let's learn about what is humidity. Humidity is the concentration of water vapor present in the air. Water vapor, the gaseous state of water, is generally invisible to the human eye. Humidity indicates the likelihood for precipitation, dew or fog to be present. Friends, do you know what is humidity is? Humidity means that when the water vapor, the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere is called humidity. And this water vapor, which like I told, for the process of precipitation, this water vapor which reaches the clouds and that falls as a rain. So due to the process of humidity, so what is humidity? Again, humidity is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So this water vapor reaches the clouds and from there the rain comes. So the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere is called humidity. And now let's learn about what is wind. Wind is moving air and is caused by differences in air pressure within our atmosphere. Air under high pressure moves towards the areas of low pressure. The greater the difference in the pressure, the faster the wind flows. The fastest winds. Friends, wind means the moving air is called wind, but due to the pressure, it can change like sometimes when the pressure is high, it can go fast, or it's low, it can go slow. Same like that, it changes. And friends, I want to tell something about this 4 elements of weather. Do you know, same which I told, temperature. For measuring the temperature, we use we use the instrument as thermometer. And for precipitation, what instrument will we use? To measure the amount of droplets which falls from the cloud. So to measure precipitation, we use the instrument called rain gauge, which can measure the amount of precipitation. And what instrument will we use to measure humidity? It is called hygrometer. There is an instrument called hygrometer which is used to measure humidity. And finally, the 4th element, which is called wind, what instrument will we use to measure wind? It is anemometer. We use the instrument called anemometer to measure the wind. And friends, what does meteorology means? The study of the weather and climate. If we study of the weather and climate is called meteorology, friends. And what is meteorologist? Do you know the difference between meteorology means and meteorologist means? Meteorologist means a person who studies about the weather. A person who studies about the weather. A person who studies about the weather. This is called meteorologist. But meteorology, the study of weather and climate. This is called. Friends, do you know what is climate? Yes, the normal weather conditions of a particular region. The normal weather conditions of a particular region means, friends, the normal weather conditions like rain, wind, or snow. When these weather conditions stay for a year or stays for a week, it is called climate. But weather means these normal conditions which stay for an hour or a day. is called weather. So this is the difference between climate and weather, friends. Friends, now let's learn about what are the factors of climate. There are the factors of the climate are distance from the sea, ocean currents, direction of prevailing winds, shape of the land known as relief of topography, distance from the equator, and the phenomenon. Friends, now let's learn that climate of a place determines in the climate of a location is affected by its latitude, terrain, and altitude, as well as nearby water bodies, and the current climates can be classified according to the average and the typical ranges of different variables, most commonly temperature and precipitation. Friends, these are the climate of a place which determines is called the climate of a location. So friends, the climate of a place determines in the climate of a location. Climate can be classified according to the average and the typical ranges, even most commonly temperature and precipitation. And now let's learn what is altitude. The height of above something above sea level means, friends, altitude means if you go higher and higher, you will feel cold. But if you come down, you will feel heat. This is called altitude. And now let's learn what is ocean currents. An ocean current is a continuous directed movement of seawater generated by a number of forces acting upon the water, including wind. The Coriolis affect breaking waves, cabling, and temperature and salinity differences. Friends, do you know even ocean currents bring warm and cold water from the oceans by the currents to the shore? So ocean currents is very useful. Friends, what does this distance from the weir body means? A body of water or water body, often spelled water body, is any significant accumulation of water generally on a planet's surface. The term of most often refers to ocean seas and lakes, but includes smaller pools and waters such as ponds, wetlands, or more rarely, puddles. A body of water does not to be still or contain river, streams, canals, and others. Animal adaptation. Do you know? Yes. An adaptation is a special skill which helps an animal to survive and do everything it needs to do. Adaptation could be physical changes to the animal's body or behavioral changes in how an individual animal or a society do things their daily life. Friends, for example, are we humans? We do many things like doing homeworks, playing, going to school. Same like that, animals do variety of things which they like to do and they need to do. So that is called animal adaptation. Friends, now let's learn what does the adaptation of a polar bear means. What is the adaptation of a polar bear? Friends, polar bears are well adapted for survival in the Arctic. Their adaptation include a white appearance as camouflage from prey on the snow and ice, thick layer of the fat and fur for insulation against the cold. Friends, do you know the polar bears lives in Antarctica and in places which is really very cold like Arctic and Antarctica. But friends, polar bear has the white fur same like snow. So if enemies come to attack them, they can easily camouflage and escape. Even friends, to keep the polar bear warm, it has thick fur and also it has an black fur under polar bear which keeps it warm. Okay friends, now let's learn about different places where animals adapted. Do you know there is an animal called wood frogs and they adapted in freezing their bodies. These wood frogs, when they freeze their bodies, they can adapt easily. And kangaroo, rats survive without drinking water. Means kangaroo and rats can even survive without drinking water. And even Antarctic fish have antifreeze proteins in their body or blood. Do you know friends, there are also some fishes in Antarctic which have anti-freezing proteins in their blood which helps them to adapt it. And even African bullfrogs create muscus homes to survive the dry season. And friends, now let's learn about in which NAD all regions where animals adapted. Yes friends, the climate around us keeps on changing in order to survive the changing climate. Animals are equipped with special features in help from their adaptation. This is especially important in case of the animals. Even friends, this is especially important in the cases of animal living in extreme climatic conditions who have to protect themselves against the heat or cold. And friends, do you know what animals adapt in polar region? Yes, polar bears, narwhals, bowheads, whales, and other creatures are able to live and thrive in the harsh of climate in the Arctic because of their biological or behavior adaptation. Friends, like I told you before, polar bear can adapt in places like Antarctica and Arctic because their fur is thick, so it keeps them warm. Same like that, there are many animals which lives in Arctic and Antarctica, places like Arctic and Antarctica, which they can also keep them warm by their adaptations. And now let's learn what is the adaptation of animals in the forest. Animals who do not hibernate or migrate must have special adaptation to deal with higher exposure to predators in the winter. When leaves fall, there is less cover for animals in this biome to hide from predators. The black bear is an animal that is well adapted for the temperature deciduous forest biome. Friends, these animals do not hibernate or migrate, so they must have special adaptation to deal with their higher exposure of predators. For example, an animal which lives in forest like a black bear, this animal can well adapt for the temperature in the deciduous forest, which is called an biome. And now let's learn what is the adaptation of animals in the rainforest. Do you know friends, many animals have adapted to the unique conditions of the tropical forest. The sloth uses camouflage and moves very slow to make it difficult for predators to spot. The spider monkey has long strong limbs to help it to climb through the rainforest. Friends, due to the adaptation of rainforest, there are animals called sloth and spider monkey. For example, you take sloth. The sloth is really a lazy animal. When it sits in a place, it even feels very lazy to stand up. So it sits in the bushes and trees. So these bushes and trees hides this sloth because it's lazy, so it does not get up and stays like a statue. So the predators can't find the sloth easily, and it can easily camouflage like this, and it can escape from the predators. And even there is a monkey called spider monkey. It can easily jump from trees to trees, which is its main adaptation, and it can even also escape from the predators. So friends, in the entire world there are many animals and their adaptations.